Flyers, Phillies, let's talk about them. Sixers, Eagles, let's talk about them. What the Union doing? Pull up with the crew and have a drink or two and let's talk about them. This a PHI bar. Bruce Willis, we die hard. I know you feel us, cause Philly fans is the best sports fans by far. No cheating here, we gon' keep it fair. You don't like my set, somebody help them. This the key, if we can disagree without disrespecting, everybody welcome. So what we talking about? Practice? What we talking about? Let's unpack this. Top Shelf, Sports Talk, lights, cameras, we active.
Yo, it's your boy Jamar, Top Shelf Sports Talk. Can y'all hear me loud and clear? Because I'm back on this Sunday morning, got some feedback going on in my headphones. I don't understand. I haven't used it in a while, haven't bothered in a while, and all of a sudden now it's starting to act stupid. Can you hear me loud and clear? Yes. If you can hear me, let me know so I don't be talking for 5 or 10 minutes and nobody can hear me. Loud and clear. Good morning, Mother. I'm not going to expose the fact that you cheated already. It's just you on here right now, so I'm not going to say it, and make people know that you cheated already. Hold on. So, but that's between me and you. Loud and clear. Let me see something real quick, because can you hear me now? Can you still hear me? Loud and clear? Yes or no? I turned something down that was bothering me in my ear. Can you still hear me? Whatever. Can you still hear me though, Ma? Okay, cool. I'll turn this thing up. I got something I want to play for you guys, because I don't know if y'all remember the video that I released when the Eagles played the Chargers, and the Chargers beat the Eagles 22-19 or something. And Jalen Hurts had his worst game as he could play as an Eagle, and I went on a profanity-laced rant about the way he played. And even till this day, that video is still getting a lot of people criticizing it because I'm not grateful, is what they say. I'm not grateful enough that he took us to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years, and I should have some grace for that. And it's like, I don't understand. I said this, I think, the last time I was live. I don't understand at what point did us Philly fans become so sensitive to the fact that we can't criticize even somebody like Jalen Hurts. Now, does that mean that like a guy like Nick Foles can never be criticized? Can Nick Foles ever be criticized? He won us our first Super Bowl. Can we criticize? I mean, we traded the guy away, I think, the next year or the year after. We didn't give him the money that he, I guess he wanted or deserved. What does that say about, a player? Like, is what have you done for me now? It's not what you've done for me lately. It's what you've done for me now. And in that game that Jalen Hurts had, he stunk. Now, if you've been watching me this year, especially, I've been putting out videos talking about how people make hot takes and they go out there and they make these outlandish statements. And then just because they want to change the algorithm of their name and clickbait of their name, and they get a lot of traction when it comes to it. But the only bad part about the clickbaits and stuff like that, you sometimes have to go back on your word and eat what you said. That's why I've always said, like, when I'm online or live or whatever the case may be, I would always try to be raw and authentic and truthful. I'll be truthful, not untruthful, because I just want somebody to click on my algorithm and change the algorithm of my name. Eagles fans criticize everything and everybody, so you're no exception. No, but the funny thing is, I'm no exception, but I got a lot of criticism for it. Like I said, I was called ungrateful for the fact that I criticized Jalen Hurts for having a bad game. I mean, by think about it. He even says I had a bad game. I didn't do good. I stunk it up. But I can't go on there and say it. But see, I'm not outlandish. I'm not saying anything just to get some clickbait to get people to follow me, get people to click on my name or anything like that. There's people that are actually out there in the world, like in the like professional, that actually has the contract to air the Eagles game on their radio station, 94.1 WIP, is who I'm talking about. After that game, let me find that one first, because I know a lot of people probably didn't watch the video that I did the first time about what he said. His name is Joe Gigolo, or whatever his name, Gigolo. I forget how you say his name, but he was one of the guys that came on and said that after that game, the Eagles next year need to think about trading or getting rid of Jalen Hurts, because he doesn't know if they believe in him the way they need to believe in him, and if he's good enough to, get us back to the Super Bowl. Let me see if y'all can hear this. Can y'all hear this? I'm playing it now. If you play for me, sometimes. No. Well, I was gonna play it. I don't know if I'm gonna play it now.
If I'm the Eagles, I would start Jalen Hurts on Sunday against the Las Vegas Raiders. He's the quarterback on Sunday. You used the word yesterday, earned. I do think he's earned the right to start the game on Sunday. He's been the quarterback here for years. They've won a lot. He had a horrific game. He's off a bad month. But yeah, he gets to start the game on Sunday. But that's the end of where I go with earn, deserve, and all those kind of words.
See
as the season progresses, it is on the table for me that I would pull the plug. If he keeps playing the way he has the last month, and let's be clear, over the last 5 games, this is a bottom 5 quarterback in the NFL. That's the way he's playing compared to all the other quarterbacks. So if he doesn't pick it up and the offense continues to struggle and he looks like he did on Monday, I have to pull the plug, and I have to do it for a few reasons. Number one, I owe it to the other 52 guys. They're still playing their asses off, especially that defense. I can't let the season just go down the drain because of one player. And I would say that about any position. So I owe it to the other guys. Hugh, I think back to 2018. The Eagles were struggling coming off a Super Bowl victory. They were 5-6. Now, they spun it to us that Carson Wentz had a stress fracture in his back and they were sitting him down.
I just want to hear the
outlandish stuff. They put Nick Foles back in and they went on a run.
And
that's in my head that, like, with better quarterback play, this team could be way better right now than they are.
I didn't say none of that.
I know there's a lot of stuff. I'm sure you're going to bring up a lot of this, like what happens then, right? Like the ramifications to benching Jalen Hurts. I understand. They're huge. But I just want to bring this to the table because for me, this is the only thing that matters. If the Eagles don't know he's their quarterback next year, then I don't think the ramifications are as strong as some might. And my point on that is, if they have decided right now, we have to go look for another quarterback.
All right, that's enough. This is what I'm saying. Like, when it comes down to this stuff, it's like you say things that you just want to get your name clicked on. Because at the end of the day, it feels, if you go viral, it's more chances of you being famous or making money off your socials and things like that. I would never sit back in here and say that, if Jalen Hurts could have played the rest of the season looking like trash, and I would have never called for his trade, his benching, moving on, for whatever the case may be. I would have never even put out there that the Eagles are thinking about moving on for him, or the Eagles don't believe in him. He could have played like trash for the rest of the season, and I wouldn't have called for his job. But that's what happens when you try to change your name and your algorithm of your name. You say things like that, and then guess what happens next week when he goes out and plays good? All of a sudden, no, I don't want him to go. I jumped the gun, or I did this. I did like. It was like it's funny because a week later when they played the Raiders, even though it's the Raiders, 31-0, Jalen Hurts had one of the best performances he had as in the Eagles uniform. He's not one of the best, but he bounced back. So my criticism actually could have worked in that scenario because I didn't call for his benching, I didn't call for his trading, I didn't call for anything negative to happen. I said he needed to play better. Which, if you're a true Eagles fan, and you like the Eagles, what I said was the actual factual truth. He needed to play better. He didn't need to be traded. He didn't need to be, sent away. He didn't need to be put on the bench or none of that. Did he come back and say he shouldn't have said that? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And it's funny because, like I said, I don't say things like that. Like like I said, I keep it real. Jalen Hurts played like trash against the.
You have to acknowledge how bad that team was, right? They played.
I
think it's the worst team in football. But I think it's fair to say it's fair to acknowledge it on all parts, right? The offense and the defense. They got to beat up on the worst.
None of that stuff. just what he did against the Chargers. So here's the thing. I never got a chance to make the video for this one, but I'm going to make the video and show y'all that hot takes and just outlandish, comments just because you want to be heard or you want your video to go. It doesn't make a good reporter. It just makes you just, being able to say something stupid because you got a microphone and a live button in front of you. Here it is.
Have to acknowledge how bad that team was, right? They played what I think is the worst team in football. But I think it's fair to say it. It's fair to acknowledge it on all parts, right? The offense and the defense. They got to beat up on the worst team in football. Before the show, I was comparing it to like when a Georgia or Alabama gets to play like Medford or something in the middle of their SEC schedule. It's like they won 56-0. All right. But I did see some things yesterday that made me feel way better about this team than I have in a long time. Number one, Jalen Hurts just needed to see the ball go through the hoop. He needed to play well. He needed to have some sort of I needed to have confidence in him. I mean, last week I sat here and said if he played that bad again, I'd get him off the field. I didn't want to feel that, but that's the way I felt. Yesterday, watching him, all right, he's got his legs back under him. Hopefully we get a better version of Jalen Hurts in the last 3 games into the playoffs. So that gives me a lot of hope for what they could become. And the other part is the defense. For the most part,
I'm going to stop it right there. You heard him last week say, bench him. Like, put him on the bench. Because he's been the bottom 5 quarterback for the last 4 weeks before, and he played like trash against the Chargers. Bench him. That's what he said last week. Then this week he started off by saying, "Oh, the Raiders are not a good team, so he should have went out and did what he did." But now I feel comfortable. Now you don't hear him saying that the Eagles said, "Hey, we got to think about what we're going to do in the future when it comes to Jalen Hurts." You don't hear him say none of that. Or if he plays good in the rest of the season and into the playoffs, I feel confident about this team. That's what I said the whole time. I said to y'all in that video, in that rant, that profanity-laced rant, sorry, Mom, that all I said was he needed to play better in that game. I never called for his benching. I never said that he should be benched. I never said that he should be traded. I never said the Eagles had questions about him. And these people have bigger platforms than me. And they sit here and spew all that nonsense just so their name can get the algorithm can be changed on their name. And to me, it's like, I don't do none of that. I say one thing about Jalen Hurts, and now I'm getting killed because, I'm ungrateful because he won us the Super Bowl last year and took us to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. Jalen Hurts is also the same person that comes out and says, all I want to do is get better every game. The man didn't even put on the Super Bowl ring last year when they had the Super Bowl, the ceremony and the ring given to the team. He didn't even put his ring on. He started off this season by saying, we're not defending Super Bowl champions. We're just the 25, 26 Eagles trying to get back to the championship. That's what he starts off by saying. So obviously his mind is looking towards perfection or getting better every year. He's not worried about what he did in the past. And that's what the problem is with the Eagles fans. Y'all worried about what he did in the past. A lot of big name people then came on their platforms and said, what he did in the past is what he did in the past, but he, no, not what he did in the past, but if he loses the rest of the games, the rest of the season, because he won 1 Super Bowl last year and been to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years, he get a pass from me. Like, do you think that other cities are looking at their quarterbacks that are winning like that? They put it like this. Do you think Kansas City right now, with the entry of Patrick Mahomes and the previous 4 Super Bowls they won, do you think they're sitting at home saying, at least we won 4 Super Bowls? No, they said, damn, we should have figured out. We got to get better so we can get back to that platform so we can get to Super Bowl. We want more Super Bowls. Philly fans is like, nah, we cool because we had it last year, so we get to relax and fall back and chill. Fall back and chill, like what are we doing? Fall back and chilling. You know what I mean? Like how do you fall back and chill when you want perfection? We don't experience the type of experience, the success that most of these teams around the league experience. I mean, look at Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. 4 Super Bowls. Like, we don't experience that. We don't have nowhere on our shelves that we have 4 Super Bowls. And because we won last year, And our quarterback this year played like trash in one game to me. I'm only going to say one game because a lot of the issues throughout the team to me wasn't him. It wasn't even A.J. Brown. It wasn't the defense. It was Kevin Patullo. And if you watch my lives, I've said that since day one, since the day I started, this year, watching the games and reporting back on the games, I said it was Kevin Patullo. Now, this is what I will give Kevin Patullo props on for the last 2 games. He's finally, no matter what the yardage is, no matter what is going on, he's committed and stayed to the run. He's balanced out the run with the pass. The only issue I have is that, especially against, I think it was against the Chargers, when you're running behind Jordan Mailata, Saquon was averaging like 10 to 15 yards a carry. When you were running behind Jordan Mailata, he was running like 10 to 15 yards a carry. All of a sudden, you see that work and you stop running the same plays. And like I said, again, there's people that could tell me if I'm right or wrong about this. I feel like when you go out on the edges as a running back, when you're out on the edges, you spread the defense out. You make linebackers play sideline to sideline now instead of north and south. They go spread out now because they gotta stop the big run. You saw that first play of the NFC Championship game last year against the Commanders. First play, toss to the outside. Saquon breaks off a 70-yard touchdown. So what does the linebackers have to do? They have to spread the field. So what happens now, the same plays that you constantly want to run with a banged-up offensive line, you want to go up the middle, with the linebackers having to cover so much field. Now you get the cover to go through the middle. The only problem is with that is that your offensive line is stinking right now. Your offensive line is stinking right now because they're injured. Play calling is important when players must execute too. Yes, you're right. They do. They must execute. A.J. Brown is not exempt. Just because he says what he said about the Eagles and the offense and everything like that, he's had drop passes. Dallas Goedert's had drop passes. Saquon, Smitty, everybody's had drop passes. You have to execute on offense. But again, what I'm talking about is you have to put your team in position to be able to constantly execute. And Kevin Patullo hasn't done that all year long, except the last 2 games. Now, it could be a coincidence that the last 2 games that he's done it is starting a rhythm to go into the playoffs. I'll accept that. I'll be happy with that. I would hope that these last 2 games that he coached, that he's called plays for, is a stepping stool for him to go in the playoffs catching fire. I will hope, because what this team is capable of doing. That's why I said the first time play caller on a team like this sometimes doesn't work, because he's not used to that pressure. And now it only gets thicker. The pressure only gets thicker as you go getting towards that playoffs. It gets thicker. So he has to think more on his toes even more now than he did in the regular season. So again, like I said, when it comes down to it, I can criticize Jalen Hurts for 1 game. I didn't blame the season on him. I'm not sitting here talking about trading him, getting rid of him at the end of the season, benching him, anything like that. I don't want to see Tanner McKee play. I think Tanner McKee is a good quarterback, but I don't want to see him play as a starting quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't want to see it. I want to see Jalen Hurts go back to the Super Bowl and win. And I think we can, even the way we played this year. I think that Kevin Patullo can figure out what he's done good against the Raiders and the Commanders, who we beat last week. Take those 2 game tapes, combine them, and use that going forward into the playoffs. I don't give up hope on him yet. I did give up hope on him. I did say a lot of times that I think he needs to go because he was just not calling the plays that you needed to call to win games. But I also do say this, though. I also do say this about Kevin Patullo. I think he made the correct adjustments. And I think Jalen Hurts also didn't totally check out, even though in some games I think he did check out. How do you know he's a good QB? Tanner McKee? I'm not saying he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback or he's even a great quarterback. I think from what we saw, the little bit that we saw, I think he has a nice arm on him. I think that he could possibly start for some teams out there in the league. I just don't want to see him start for us as long as we got Jalen Hurts. You know what I mean? But he could be something that people could build around because he's like a 6'6" quarterback. He's tall. He can see the field. I didn't know how tall that guy was until I seen him next to A.J. Brown, and he made A.J. Brown like a little boy. So, like, I'm not sitting here saying I'm guaranteeing that he's a good quarterback because you come on here, you start your nonsense already, Jay. Start your nonsense already. I didn't say he was a great quarterback or, he was going to be the answer to cancer. I'm just saying that from what we saw, the little bit of game tape we saw, even last year when Jalen Hurts was down with the concussion, the last 3 games that we had, that he played, he looked like a good QB. I was just watching highlights of him and A.J. Brown. I think it was against it was the rest of the game against the Commanders because I think Kenny Pickett got hurt in the last 2 games of the season. He looked pretty good. You couldn't argue with the way he looked. You can't. But I'm not sitting here saying that I want him to start as my Philadelphia Eagles quarterback. I can't sit there and tell you that. That ain't what I want to see. I want to see who we got, Jalen Hurts. And I want to be able to question him as a quarterback and his decisions if he's stinking it up. Today we got the Bills. We got the Bills today. I don't expect to see the starting unit past halftime. That's just me. If I'm QB, if I'm head coach, I think they play up until halftime. Yeah, I understand it, and that's the point I'm making, Jay. I'm not trying to find out what he is. I don't know if you was here earlier when I played the video for. I'm pretty sure you still listen. Don't you listen to 94.1? Joe Gigolo and what's his name? Joe Gigolo and Hugh Douglas. When they said that Joe Gigolo after that Chargers game was calling for the benching and trading of Jalen Hurts. He didn't necessarily say start Tanner McKee, but that's your backup, so that's probably who you would look to. And then against the next week against the Raiders, of course he tried to downplay it because it was the Raiders, but he said now he's more confident in the ability of Jalen Hurts. So my point of saying something about Tanner McKee is that I like Tanner McKee. I think he could be a good quarterback. I just didn't want to see Tanner McKee starting in the Eagles uniform. That's what I was saying to y'all about what he was saying. Because at the end of the day, Tanner McKee I like him where he at, being the backup. I don't want to see him starting over Jalen Hurts. I don't want to see him doing anything over Jalen Hurts because I believe in Jalen Hurts, even though I could criticize Jalen Hurts for having a bad game. And I still can't believe I'm talking about this, 3 weeks later? 3 weeks later, I'm still getting messages about what I said against the Chargers. That's the midday show. Barely catch it because of work. Yeah, that is the midday show. I seen this stuff on X, and it was like, yo, how am I getting so much hate? But these guys, I don't know, they might be getting hate, but these guys are saying trade them, get rid of them. The Eagles don't believe in them. They starting to question them. Like they say all this outlandish stuff, and everybody just like, oh yeah, well at least he won us a Super Bowl last year. Like what does that have to do with anything that's going on this year? And here's the point. Like I said earlier, here's the point. Even when the man tells you himself, I don't worry about last year. I'm not worried about last year. That's in the past. I'm worried about now and in the future and getting better. But poor little old me, Top Shelf Sports Talk, can't say Jalen Hurts need to play better. I can't say that. Because at the end of the day, I'm grateful when I do say something like that. I'm not grateful when I tell you that he needs to play better. Like it just doesn't make sense to me. It's cool, nobody above criticism, but sometimes people gotta go too far either way. Yeah, and they do, and it's cool. Like I'm not mad at all the comments because a lot of times when I was getting those comments, I was just replying back, bro. I'm talking about one game. I didn't call for the trade or benching of Jalen Hurts. Never did, never will. Like I said, he could stink up the rest of the season. And I'm still not calling for the trading or benching of Jalen Hurts. We just got to get better. I would never call for the trading or benching of Jalen Hurts based off of what he's brought to the table. I think it's too fast for me to even say that. He would have to stink the rest of this year and stink all the next year for me to be, all right, it's time for to get rid of him. That's the extent that it has to be. You had to stink the rest of this year, stink all next year, and then I'm like, all right, I'm done. Because at the end of the day, like you're not getting better. But one game doesn't say that he should be benched or traded or anything like that. It's just one game. He had a bad game. It happens, but we get to criticize him. We get to talk about him. We get to talk about that one bad game. I'm looking forward to showing up in the playoffs and then watching people start calling him playoff hurts, like Jimmy. Yep. And that's what's to me. As I was saying a few minutes ago, I believe Kevin Patullo would take the last two games and the play calling he's did in the last two games, and kind of bring them together and have a more effective play calling and a more effective game plan going into the playoffs to show people that, okay, we had a couple mishaps, we had a couple shortcomings, but we still who we say we are. You know what I mean? Like, and I think it'll show. I think we'll show the world that we can be critical of our coaches, our organization, of what we're doing, because all we want to do is win. Because even like with AJ Brown last year, coming off the Super Bowl, in the offseason, they interviewed him and said, "What are you looking forward to this season? You're gonna have a new play caller, this and a third." He said, "All we need to do is focus on getting better. Our play calling need to get better. We need to figure out a way to integrate the run game with the pass game." And people crucified him for that. But now people look at it like, yeah, you might be right. I've said this going back to the year that we had Miles Sanders. And the first year of A.J. Brown. Miles Sanders, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. I said, if you figure out how to have a balanced attack when it comes to this team, there's nobody that can stop us. There will be nobody that can stop. If you figure out a way to be balanced on offense, meaning if you can figure out how to run the ball and pass the ball just as effectively, nobody will be able to stop you on offense. Nobody. And I've also said, even in that time of saying that nobody will be able to stop you, I've always told y'all the defense is what's going to stop or win us the games. Defense. But that's what I'm saying. Like the last 2 weeks with Kevin Patullo's play calling, I think if he takes both of those games, granted it's against teams that are not in the playoffs, but if he takes both of those games, seeing what worked in those games against those defenses, and uses some of what he saw in those two games, even against the Bills, even against the Commanders again, and then going into the playoffs, I think there's nobody. And if you look at it, if you look at the playoff pictures, all the heavyweights that were supposed to be stopping us Eagles from repeating, you're talking about the Packers. Packers always Michael Parsons for the season. Jordan Love can't stay healthy. He's got a concussion. I'm not sure if they won last night, but they was losing to the Ravens. The Rams. Puka Nacua is a killer. He's a beast. And I'm scared of him if Devontae Adams is healthy. But Devontae Adams has a hamstring injury. So the Chicago Bears, our defense took the day off. And it's a different game in the playoffs when you're playing against a playoff team, a Super Bowl team. We know things that we got to do that the Chicago Bears wouldn't. So, like, if you think about any of the powerhouses that are supposed to be in the playoffs that the Eagles are supposed to struggle against, we could beat them. We just need consistency. We just need to be playing be on the same field, on the same mindset as our coaches, as each other. We just got to stick to each other, stick to the game plan. They got smoked 42-24. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, look at that team. When they traded for Michael Parsons week 1, that was the team to beat to get to the Super Bowl. Everybody picked the Packers to be the team to beat to get to the Super Bowl. There was not a person that didn't pick the Packers to say that they was going to win the Super Bowl. Yeah, gave the Bears a division with that loss. That's cool. And here's the thing, right? With the Bears, you get them. They in the high horse right now. I mean, they turned that season around, that team around, that organization around. In 1 year with Ben Johnson, kudos to what he did. You know what I mean, for that organization. But the pressure that comes with coming into the playoffs and being able to win in the playoffs is immense. It's a lot. I mean, look at what the Commanders last year, making it all the way to the NFC Championship game, and then getting smoked. Because I remember that defensive coordinator coming out saying that if Jalen Hurts run the ball, we're gonna treat him like a running back. We're gonna hit him. I think Jalen Hurts had a rushing touchdown in that game. Where was the trick? You got smoked by. You got 55 to 24. You're smoked in that game. Jayden Daniels is a good quarterback, and even after that appearance in the NFC Championship, even after that appearance in the championship, when they had the list of quarterbacks who's better, the top 10 quarterbacks, some guys had Jayden Daniels up there over like Jalen Hurts. So my point of all this that I'm saying is that we can sit back and we can criticize one game. But here's the thing. I think the overall look of our season is getting ready to change as we get closer to that playoffs. And then once we get in that playoffs, I think the team that we thought we should see is the team that you will see. Because even some of the close games that we were winning by a field goal or whatever the case may be, I think there was a lot of teachable moments in those games that we can look at the whole season and say, all right, if we would have just did this in that moment or did that in that moment, like we would be a lot better. So I think that, like I said, I can criticize one guy for terrible gameplay, but I'm never going to go as far as to say that he should be traded or benched because of one game. I don't need my algorithm to go that crazy to where as though, people just clicking on my name because I said some outlandish stuff. That to me doesn't make no sense. Sure did. He had to backtrack after the game looked stupid. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you go out and say, yeah, you got to trade him, you got to get rid of him. The Eagles don't even believe in him, and this, that, and the third. And then he comes out and plays a good game against the Raiders. And like I say, he starts off by saying, albeit, even though it's the Raiders, now you're like, no, well, I see he just needed to see the ball go through the basket. He just needed to get his confidence back. It's like, why say it if you're going to have to come back and apologize for it? I mean, use better judgment. Just say that he had a bad game. Crucify him for that game and say, we're going to learn and move on forward and go forward. That's what I said in my rant. Again, it might have been, profanity laced, and that's because I'm so used to Jalen Hurts being more protective of the ball, more secure on the ball than he was in that particular game. I mean, for Christ's sakes, he had 6 interceptions throughout the whole season, I believe. 6 interceptions. 4 of them came in that game. Or 4, no. Yeah, I think 4 of them came in that game. I think he had 5 turnovers total in that game. 2 on one play, an interception and a fumble on one play. So I'm not wrong for wanting him to do better or be better. It just is what it is. You know what I mean? Hey, why wouldn't you? Like I said, I use Patrick Mahomes. You think the Kansas City Chiefs right now are happy that they're home and saying, at least we won 4 Super Bowls over the last 6 years or whatever it was? You think they're like, okay, cool, it doesn't matter? No, they're mad. But they're also not saying trade Patrick Mahomes. They're not saying trade him, even though he's going to be coming off an ACL tear. I bet you there's not one person in that fan base or not even one sports talk radio personality in that area saying trade Patrick Mahomes because he didn't get us to the Super Bowl this year. Or he played like crap in one game. Like this, nobody's saying that. But these guys don't feel it. They go in there and say it. But I'm the one that get yelled at or talked to, told I'm grateful for saying he played trash in one game. Like I'm the one that's getting that type of feedback. You know what I mean? But it's all good, and I'm here for it. This is what I signed up to do. This is what I signed up to, be a part of. So whatever comes with it, it comes with it. And I just take it as it goes, and I just try to tell people. Like, that's why I say I try to make videos to show people that, hot takes don't mean anything. Like, hot takes just have you apologizing for what you said, in a couple days. It's like Stephen A. Smith. Hot take came to me. Yep, he came in third, came in with 3 for the season, then proceeded to have 5 that game. Great. Yes. Who wouldn't be mad at your quarterback, if he had 5 turnovers in one game? And he only had 3 to come into the game. Who wouldn't be mad at that quarterback? Now, who you could be, I would be, I was mad. But I never in that video, in any video I've said, has ever said trade the man. It's a report that came out about Lamar Jackson over the last couple of days talking about he falls asleep in meetings. They say he's staying up late, playing video games at night. Nights that they got games going. And I have a friend who's a Ravens fan, Phil. If you're watching, shout out to you, Phil. You're a Ravens fan. Your team got a win last night, even though I picked against them. But I asked him. I said, if that's true, did you crush him? Did you rip him? Did you say anything crazy? And his response was, I do it behind closed doors. Like I that's my man. I would do it behind. No. That's like a thief going to Walmart, stealing a PS5, and the cops don't lock him up. They just walk him outside and say, "Hey, don't do it again." What? You think he gonna listen to that? He'll be like, all right, okay, sir. All right, cool. You're gonna go right back in Walmart and do it again. And I'm not saying even the way I said it, the way I would handle it is productive, but I mean, I'm not saying that Jalen Hurts ever saw my voice or heard my voice or saw my face. But if he did and he saw that video, I guarantee he probably said, yep, you was right. And he went out there and played again. It's a rumor, Lamar somehow going to Miami. I don't know how though. Yeah, it's a big rumor because first of all, I don't think it's Miami. It was another team too. I can't remember the second team, but Miami doesn't have any money for him because they got a big salary. They got to eat Tua's salary for next year. I think it's like $96 million, and they would have to find somebody that would trade for him and eat most of that contract. But it's still, I think, even if they did find somebody to trade for him and eat most of that contract, I think they're still on the hook for like 50-something million. It'd be very, very hard for them to get Lamar Jackson. And I think Lamar Jackson's salary cap hit next year is like 80-something million or 70-something million. I think he counts with like 24% of the Ravens' salary cap next year. So it's going to be hard for that to happen. I mean, you would need some people to kind of make that happen, but it is a rumor that they're talking about trading him. They said that the Dolphins wanted to draft him when he was coming out, but I forget what happened, why they didn't draft him. But I mean, like, if that's true about Lamar Jackson, like, think about it. Like, I crucified Jalen Hurts for what he did on the field. Like, you don't hear the stories about Jalen Hurts staying up late, falling asleep in practices, not whatever. They try to put dirt on his name by saying he don't talk to his receivers. And you saw on Hard Knocks that after a 3-and-out, he went over to his receivers and Smitty and was talking to him. You saw even last week when they had the fight with Tyler Steen and he throwing punches. You saw Jalen Hurts go over to Steen like, yo, this is not what you're supposed to be doing. This is not what you need to do because this is affecting not only you, it's affecting us as a whole. You saw him pull that young brother to the side and try to coach him up and try to get him to understand that was not cool on any level. So you hear nothing but good and positive things about Jalen Hurts, but you play one bad game and you can't say nothing about him. I mean, for Christ's sake, look at Lamar and that team right now. And most people would say John Harbaugh is probably the problem of that team. Maybe he is, maybe he ain't. Maybe, but just maybe if Lamar Jackson, if some of those rumors wasn't true, if he wasn't falling asleep in meetings, if he wasn't playing video games late at night, maybe if that's true, maybe he does better. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's a lot to take in. Hold on, we get ready to start our pick'em section of the show. Let me get my picks real quick. All right. Huge shout out. All right, couldn't get that together for a second. Huge shout out to my coworker Nay. She won 3 out of the last 4 weeks in pick'em. 3 out of the last 4 weeks. That's pretty, it's pretty hard to do when it comes to pick'em because pick'em with the league is anything can happen. So shout out to you. And she did a couple weeks ago win the T-shirt giveaway. I should have that T-shirt this week, maybe by the weekend, and I'll present that to her. So shout out to her for being a consistent winner, a consistent player, and pick'em Top Shelf Sports Talk pick'em. Appreciate it. So with that said, and here's the thing, guys, I never announced that if I'm going to do something for the overall winner of the year for Top Shelf Sports Talk NFL Pick'em. Stay tuned. I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do, but stay tuned, and we'll figure something out. But anyway, to get ready to start the week off, which was Christmas week. Merry Christmas to everybody. Hope everybody had a good Christmas. Hope everybody was able to chill, get some relaxation with the family, the kids, the loved ones, whoever, friends, whoever. I hope everybody enjoyed their Christmas. Got New Year's coming up on Wednesday. Happy New Year's from Top Shelf Sports Talk to you and yours. Be responsible, drink responsible. Don't drink and drive. Do not go outside buzzed or even any type of impaired driving around the city or driving anywhere. Don't need you to get in no accidents or cause no accidents or getting pulled over by the cops. So be responsible. Merry Christmas, mother. So on Thursday night, we seen the Dallas Cowboys beat the Commanders. It actually, I thought the Commanders were going to come back. Happy New Year to you as well. I thought the Commanders were going to come back and win that game, but they didn't. So it kind of hurt me. Dallas lost. Dallas won. We saw Detroit lose to Minnesota. I'm pretty sure that did end Detroit's chances of the playoffs. So shout out to the Kitty Cats who lost me that game. Now I got to start off 0-2 and playing pick'ems. Now we have the Denver Broncos at the Kansas City Chiefs. Even though Kansas City Chiefs, you mean my annual end of the year prize? Yeah, we'll see. Just so you know, I don't post my well, I talk about it if y'all see my videos when I do my pick'ems. But I went 10-3 or no 13-3 last week. So shout out to me. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, if y'all would just watch my videos, y'all be in a lot better place. Y'all would be in a lot better place. Just watch my videos. I'm telling y'all. But anyway, let's get back to it. Saturday, Houston, Texas beat the LA Chargers. And we saw Saturday night Green Bay lose to. I picked Green Bay to win that game. So I lost Green Bay so far. I got 3 losses so far in my pick'ems. Because Baltimore beat Green Bay last night. Next game is today, 1:00. Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cleveland Browns. And I said on my pick'em video, I said this on my video, Pittsburgh is going to wind up losing this game only because they make it hard for their fans to feel comfortable about them getting into the playoffs and securing a spot. And plus, Cleveland always has played the Pittsburgh Steelers pretty well. So I got Cleveland winning this game, and I got Shador looking pretty good in this game, coming out with a win. I mean, he almost pulled it out last week against what did they play, the Bills last week? He almost pulled it out, but it came up a little short. Yeah, shaking my head. I'm 3-0, as you say, Father. Yeah, right. But here's the problem. You start off fast, and then you'll be wheezing in the back. So I'm slacking right now, but I got enough leeway. So I ain't even going to finish the song. You want us to go by your picks? I don't think so. Again, it doesn't matter. You two are the haters of the crew. I told y'all last week I went 13-3. Neither one of y'all had a 13-3 week. So let's talk about it. So I got my mom goes Pittsburgh. Division games is tight, but no Steelers. Jason goes Pittsburgh. I'm telling y'all, this is going to be one of them games. And I guarantee you, when you see the outcome of that game, you're going to say, I should have listened. I should have listened. But it's okay. It's all right. I ain't mad at y'all. Y'all been hating all year long. And all I've done is win, no matter what. So, and again, like I said, my coworker who's won 3 out of the last 4 weeks, she listens to my videos. She changes a few picks here and there and winds up on top. You guys haven't been on top in a while, so I'm just saying. I'm sorry. Next game, New Orleans Saints at the Tennessee Titans. New Orleans Saints at the Tennessee Titans. I went New Orleans. I was 12-4. You got me by 1. Hey, did I win? Did I beat you? I could show you my paper. Hold on, because you think I didn't do it. I still fill mine out on this. You see that? You see that 13-3 at the bottom? You see that? See all them check marks? You see it? So, again, I didn't do this yesterday. If you don't believe me, I always make a video for it. So, there you have it. I got you by 1 point. 1 game, but I won. I beat you. Real sorry, just trying to keep it real. You're not keeping it real. That's the only problem. Saints, my mom with the Saints, Jason with the Saints. I went with the Saints too because I believe that they was on a 3-game winning streak. They might have found some flavor or something that works for that offense. I don't know if they found an answer to quarterback, but they might have found something that they can take into next year. Plus, I think I think Tennessee is in line to get I think maybe I don't know if it's the number 1. I think that might be the Raiders. They might be tied with the Raiders for the number 1 overall pick. So if they lose today, they might be able to increase their chances to get a number 1 pick. So that's why I say I'm going with the Saints. Next game, Jacksonville at Indianapolis Colts. We see old man Rivers. He looks like he didn't stop playing. I think he had like three touchdowns in that game against the 49ers. Unfortunately, their team has been derailed by injuries, and they stopped running the ball. I don't know what happened to their running game, but they stopped really running the ball. My mom goes Jacksonville. I went Jacksonville. The Colts, I thought they were going to be one of them teams that, going to sneak up on people and make a deep playoff run, but injuries killed them at quarterback, and they got a big decision going into next year because they don't have a quarterback. Because then Indiana Jones is done until at least the midpoint of the season, maybe a little later than that. So they got a big question mark at cornerback position. But I go Jacksonville in that game. Jason go Jaguars. We all went Jaguars in that game. Next game was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Miami Dolphins. Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Miami Dolphins. I went Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay needs to win. Miami, Tua is done. Their backup that they got is not pretty good. It's not good at all. Hasn't shown. Skewers, I think his name is. Last game that it was good. I think he threw like 3 interceptions. Miami's, I don't know. They got a lot to look forward to in this offseason as well. But I went Tampa Bay in that game because I think they need that win. My mom went Tampa Bay. I'm sure Jason probably went Tampa Bay too. But the next game, yeah, he went Bucks. The next game we have is see, this team made me choke. The Arizona Cardinals at the Cincinnati Bengals. Only reason why I choked on that because I know the type of comment I'm getting ready to get, and I don't want to hear all that nonsense because that's not what we do. You're looking at my picks. You're following me. I am not looking at your picks. My picks are written down again already. And if you want, you can go on my page and look at my video to show that I did my picks before you said yours. Okay. Miami ready to go fishing. Yes, they are. They done. They're done. Arizona, okay, sunny and high of 66. And the only reason why you're picking Arizona is because you live there. Cincinnati is a better team. Joe Burrow has to show that his comments that he made about football not being fun, being like, he has to walk those back. So he has to go out there and play football because he's gotten guys to sign long-term contracts there. And it feels like he's trying to find a way to get out of there. People. I saw something stupid on. People like this is another thing. I saw this on I don't know if it was Facebook. I think it was Facebook. I saw somebody say, "Would you trade Jalen Hurts, Cooper DeJean, and the first overall pick for Joey first round pick for Joey Burrow?" What? Where's people will say things just for you to click on their name. It's crazy. Yeah, and you should come visit sometime. Oh boy. What? But anyway, people say something crazy. Jason, you're not helping with the comments that you're making. This is not helping. We're not asking for the weather. This is not the Weather Channel. We're talking football. This is not the Weather Channel. All right? We're not even playing in Philly today, so there's no need for you to comment the weather in Philly when we're not even playing in Philly. I'm going to have to put y'all on timeout. He ain't going nowhere. They'd be crazy to give him out. Who? The Bengals? See. Yeah, I mean, Jalen Hurts, they would be crazy to give up Cooper DeJean, Jalen Hurts, and a number one pick for Joey Burrow. I mean, what does that do for you? Joey Burrow doesn't stay healthy consistently throughout his career. Jalen Hurts has been an epitome of being healthy. He's missed, throughout his career? I think he's under double digits in missed games. Like, why would you trade that type of consistency for somebody who you don't know will be there, week after week? I mean, why would you do it? Next game is the New England Patriots at the New York Jets. Oh, boy. Anyway, I got the Patriots in that game. The Patriots are a tough team. Could they find a way to wind up in the Super Bowl? Mike Vrabel, he's got the post of the team on it. I don't know. I like the way they've been playing. New England, just for the record, I don't like any New England teams. I didn't say you like the Patriots or the New England Patriots. You only picked them because you went to school in Boston. That's the only thing. You only picked them because you went to school in Boston. That's why. His O-line sucks though. Joey Burrow, it probably does, but he's hurt a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd rather not risk a injury-prone quarterback for something that I know that is pretty much a sure thing. Like I get it. His offensive line is terrible, and that's why he's probably hurt a lot because he's getting hit a lot. But would you trade? If you could do that trade straight up, would you do that trade straight up? I wouldn't. I keep Hurts. I keep Hurts in a heartbeat. You only had to ask me twice. Patriots. We both went Patriots in that game. It seems like a lot of y'all. It seems like y'all are picking what I pick. You know what I mean? It seems like y'all are picking what I pick, and just because y'all doing that, watch what happens. Watch I lose or get a bunch of losses this week because of y'all copying off of me and jinxing me. Next game. Read and understand. I don't pick the Patriots because I don't like them. Well, you did just pick the Patriots, though. I don't pick the Patriots because I don't like them. Okay, I'm not understanding that. Vrabel making them look right. Firing their last coach of just the 1 year. Yep. I think that's still. Gerard may not have been an answer. Obviously Vrabel has gotten the best out of these guys. But like I said, I like what Vrabel's doing. I like what that team is doing. Jason said, hell no, he wouldn't trade Jalen Hurts with Joey Burrow. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I get that he's been hurt because of his offensive line, but I'm still wouldn't trade him. University City, the best school that there was. It was so far advanced over all the other schools in the city. that they had to tear it down because y'all couldn't catch up. So, I'm just letting you know. Yeah, that's why I started off 3-0 and you're 0-3. No, I'm not 0-3. I'm 1-2, brother. 1-2. Get the record straight. 1 and 2. Get the record straight. But like I told you earlier, you start off fast consistently and then you start wheezing in the back. So that's how it happens. You know what I mean? So before you talk your stuff, know your numbers. Next game is, did I say Seattle and Carolina? Seattle Seahawks at the Carolina Panthers. I went Carolina only because Carolina, I believe they're fighting for a playoff position. I'm not sure if they're actually in. Okay, I mean, that's not how you said it. You didn't say it that way. So, you confused yourself. So at the end of the day, but you went to school there is why you picked them in most cases. So that's all the reason why. That's the only thing I'm saying. My mom picks Carolina. I already picked Carolina. See, I think a lot of y'all picks are y'all starting to realize that I gotta listen to the expert when it comes to this, and now y'all starting to pick what I'm picking. Jason with the Seahawks. Only reason why I went Carolina is I think Carolina has they have more to fight for than the Seahawks. The Seahawks, to me, are a team they're in the playoffs. They're another tough team that you had to face, but I think with them, I think it's more about holding any Sam Darnold magic that he may have instead of him exhausting it in the rest of the last 2 games of the regular season, holding that for the playoffs and try to, because he tends to fold in the playoffs or in big games, in big moments. He tends to fold. That's the reason why I'm picking Carolina. Carolina's in. Again, yeah, as I said, University of City was so far advanced, we had to tear it down because you guys were so far back, and unfortunately, that's what happens when you're smarter than your competition. Yeah, they definitely in. Okay, Carolina's definitely in. Next game is the New York Giants. I thought we played at 1:00 too. You gotta look that up. New York Giants at the Las Vegas Raiders. Vegas is trying to get a number 1 pick. Vegas is trying to get a number 1 pick. So you said, hold on, you said Jimmy, Carolina has the better QB. They do. They do. In most cases, Bryce still does some erratic stuff. If I'm betting money on what QB I believe can get me further, I think I might go with Sam Darnold. We play at 4:30. I thought it was 1:00 for some reason. My mom with the Giants. I would go Sam Darnold more over Bryce Young right now because I think Bryce Young still got some maturing to do. And you've seen the last 2 years in different systems the ability that Sam Darnold has. You know what I mean? You've seen how he plays in 2 different systems, and he's been pretty good. He's been, a big turning point for those teams. Giants, they both playing for number 1 seed. Yeah, that's who the 2 teams are. But I did go Giants in that game because I think Vegas is just done. I think Vegas is just done. So I did go Giants. They still, what kills me is that I still see people questioning Jackson Dart as a good QB. I mean, or franchise QB. I do not agree they have a better quarterback. Seahawks is better. You talking about Sam Darnold is better than what you call Bryce Young? That's what I'm saying. I agree too if that's what you're saying. Next game is our game, the Philadelphia Eagles at the Buffalo Bills. Philadelphia. Even though I said on my video, watch my video. Even though I said on my video, I said I'm picking Philadelphia because it's up to me. Philadelphia would be 17-0. They wouldn't lose a game. The only reason why I'm not picking, the only reason why I would say anything against Philadelphia in this game because I don't think that the starters have played the whole game. I don't see the starters playing the whole game, which would give Josh Allen, the ability to win the game. If we play the whole game, I think we can win. We'll win because I think our defense will keep a hold on Josh Allen. Jason is I don't think Jalen Carter's back this game, is he? And I think they said in the last game of the season. Go Birds. We all pick Birds, but I just think that this game right here, and if you listen to my videos, I did say when I thought we would go 9-1, I thought this game was the game we would lose in that one loss. So I still stand by it, even though I think the Eagles will win. Well, I want the Eagles to win, but I can see a world in which the Bills win this game, and it's only because I think that we won't play our starters throughout the whole game. Last game of the night is Chicago Bears at San Francisco 49ers. I like Chicago. I think Chicago's team is better than 49ers team. 49ers team is going to be in the playoffs, but Kyle Shanahan's done miracles with that team. That team was not supposed to be as good as they are, and especially at the midpoint of the season, they had a lot of questions at quarterback, whether they think Brock Purdy is going to be the quarterback of the future, whatever. See, again, this is an example of an Overbrook education, right? But as usual, as usual, you're wrong. I picked the Eagles to win. I just want you to know that. That's number one. I did pick the Eagles to win. But I said that if the Eagles are going to lose, it's because they're not going to play their starters the whole game. That's why I said they would lose. See? You're not listening. Overbrook. San Francisco, my mom picks, and Jason picks the 49ers. I want Chicago in that game. I think Chicago has the better team, better defense. Overall, I think they're the better outing. So I'm going Chicago in that game. So y'all went 49ers. Y'all ain't had to listen to me on that pick, but whatever. We'll see. Next game is Monday night game is the Rams at the Falcons. I picked the Rams. The Falcons have always, to me, has been a team all season long that has been the most inconsistent team you could think of. They haven't been consistently good at doing anything all year, which I believe that they're looking to probably move on from, Raheem Morris. I don't know. I mean, they talk about bringing Belichick. I'm not saying that they're going to bring him to Atlanta, but I do know that they were talking about trying, Belichick coming out of North Carolina, coming back to the NFL. I don't care what team it is that would look for a new coach at the end of this season or beginning of next season. I think you need young, innovative minds in this game. And I would not pick an old coach because I think the old coaches are set in their ways and they have ways of doing things that they don't feel like they need to change for nothing or nobody. So that's why I wouldn't go after a Bill Belichick. I'll find somebody in some of these organizations that have either good offensive mindset or a good defensive mindset, and I'll bring one of those young guys in and have them run my team versus an old coach. I think the only person that has exception to that is Andy Reid, because even after leaving the Eagles, I think he's adapted to some of the nuances of the young crowd and know what they want and know what they excel at. So I think that's why he gets the benefit of the doubt. But I did go Rams. My mom went Atlanta. Jason went the Rams. So we'll see what happens. That is this show for this week, week 17. Appreciate everybody that stopped past. Jason, my mom. As always, y'all always have supported me throughout this journey. I really do appreciate it. And everybody else who glanced and came through and stopped and said something, I appreciate you too. And if you watch it from the background, we have fun over here. So it doesn't hurt for you to come on over here and join in on the fun. You know what I mean? Like, what's the worst can happen? You can have too much fun. That's a good thing. We talk crazy, not crazy, but we talk about each other. You've seen the back and forth between my mom with the school she went to. She went to Overbrook. I went to University City. And I appreciate you too, Ma. I love you. Jason, my brother, I love you, brother. Can't wait to have you back on. I think you may be back on next week. But we'll see what your schedule like. And we still got to get together and do some 76er videos and content on that. But, you know, like I said, that's my time for the day. I appreciate y'all for stopping past. Again, Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Happy New Year to everybody. I will be calling everybody at the end, you know, at the end of the night, wishing everybody a Happy New Year. So, you know, I know we all old now, so we might be asleep, but, you know, I'll leave a message if you don't answer. But anyway, it's your boy Jamar, Top Shelf Sports Talk. And you know what? Just to keep up with the tradition of how we usually end the show, let's do it.
I want you to do for me.
What?
Come here.
What?
Win.
What are we waiting for?
You know what you gotta do. Do it.
How you feel what's about to happen on this field, man? They gonna get it to us. We got to take it. They want to black out. We gonna get one black out. Stay together and keep fighting. Down. Knuckle up. Do anything they move. And it is Kurt's touchdown. Brian Westbrook. He's gone. Touchdown. And the Eagles win. The Eagles win. Let's get it to them all day. Relentless. Are you spirit? Are you power? Are you love? Give me what you got. Right now. Right now. You ain't ready for a fight? Go ahead and go home. Because that's what this gonna be for 4 quarters. A fight. We always win when we fight together. That's how winning is done.
Now get out there.
EAGLES Eagles.
Flyers, Phillies, let's talk about them. Sixers, Eagles, let's talk about them. What the Union doing? Pull up with the crew and have a drink or two and let's talk about them. This a PHI bar. Bruce Willis, we die hard. I know you feel us, cause Philly fans is the best sports fans by far. No cheating here, we gon' keep it fair. You don't like my set, somebody help them. This the key, if we can disagree without disrespecting, everybody welcome. So what we talking about? Practice? What we talking about? Let's unpack this. Top Shelf Sports Talk. Lights, cameras, we active.